This show is a Phonic Media production.
In this episode of the podcast, Hayley's going to tell you how she's become a lean, keen selling machine. And I know what you're thinking, that's not how you actually say that sentence. And that's why Hayley thinks so. Hit them with the mother flipping tagline.
Hey, friend.
Oh my God, how did I forget to tell you this?
What?
I did that yesterday.
Where?
So that my office is so awkward.
What did you do?
So next to our office.
This sounds really embarrassing.
This is in East London, right? So it's a very...
We know where it is.
It's a very Asian cultural area. There's a
Okay.
lot of just Asian goodness around there.
Okay.
Including the shop next door to our office block, which is a Chinese doctor, like a Chinese herb place.
Oh, right, yeah. Where they cut off your hair and tell you what you can't eat.
Yeah, so I'm not sure any of
They
those...
probably do a lot more than
I'm
that,
not sure that any of those people have ever actually got a medical qualification, I'll be honest. Especially because the guy, every time I see him, he's just out the back smoking a massive fag. I'm like, you're not really a doctor, are you? But it's called a Dr. Herbs. But anyway... So I went out to the car yesterday and he was there, as he always is, having a fag. And I just went, hey, friend. And I was like, where the fuck did that come from?
Why would you say that?
And he looked so confused because he doesn't speak any English anyway. And he just like, just sort of grunted at me.
Why would you say, hey, friend?
I don't know. I think I was supposed to say, hey, my friend.
Hey, friend, or like, hey, my friend. Like, hey, friend.
But I fully given the tagline.
What a twat.
He didn't like it.
What a twat.
Anyway, welcome back to the show, everybody.
Welcome.
If you are a...
Welcome, bienvenue, welcome. Don't know.
What is that?
Cabaret.
Oh, okay,
Anyway,
fine.
moving on.
I did a webinar yesterday, I forgot to tell you, to an entirely German audience.
Assuming they could speak English.
They could. Well, I didn't do it in German.
Okay. Imagine if you did.
Dankeschön, ist und Podcast. Sehr gut, ja?
You just spat. You just spat on your chin. Lovely. Yeah, just spat all day.
Oh, anyway, welcome to the fucking show. 2.5 minutes later.
Lean and keen, selling machine. I was trying to think, what is that sentence? And I was like, lean and keen.
That's lean and mean.
Lean and keen.
Lean, mean.
Lean and keen.
It's okay, lean and keen. But before we get into that, we've got to do a big shout out. Big shout out to
also,
our...
can I just say, before we get into this one, I love it when people do this. When they go on YouTube and they go, great video, however...
But...
Like, fuck off. Anyway.
Who's done that then?
You know, like when they're just trying to sell you.
Oh,
we
yeah.
can help you get more followers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but hey.
Yeah, but we're not
We like
interested.
doing it the hard way.
There we go. So, thank you to our new listener, John Buckley. Shout out to Johnny B.
You're a legend, John.
John's all the way from fucking Australia.
Oh my God, it's like my favourite place.
John is actually a listener from another podcast I do, and
Yes.
he's the first person to comment on it on every single
love it.
episode. To the point now we just do hellos to John Buckley on the podcast.
Can you do that on ours, John?
100,000 people listen to that podcast a month, and the only person we talk to is John Buckley.
Okay, but we don't get that many listeners, but still,
John's in.
John's in.
John's new thing,
Yeah.
by the way, is he does timestamps.
Okay.
So within YouTube, and it might help the algorithm, who knows if it does. Thanks very much, John. We really appreciate it. So John's new thing is doing timestamps on the business broadcast podcast I'm involved in. He's done the same here.
Okay.
So he's basically timestamped his favourite moments of previous
Oh my
episodes. G'day, friends. First time listener.
Nice.
904, Crazy Pump Vibes. 1351, When Worlds Collide. Dinosaur emoji. 1924, Awesome Shout Out. 2023, Do You Roll Out the Red Carpet for Your Clients? 2651, Laughing Face. It's a JB thing. 2944, You Guys Are Nuts, Too Funny. 35, Engage Karen Mode. My kids are celiac and that's happened far too many times. #GER. The final one, 4340, Laughing face, fart.
Oh,
so
no,
John,
let's
who's
not
come
relive the
over
fart
from another
moment.
podcast episode where I've got
What a great one to start
a
with,
lot
John.
of respect. I'm very well regarded in the business
No, you're
community.
not. Come on. They would
Now
just
they
take the
know
piss out
I'm
of
just
what you're wearing.
married to a farty bitch who
Actually,
can't
when
keep her
this
gas
goes,
in.
but thank you, John. I love that. And
Shout
thank you
out,
for
John.
listening. But actually, when this goes out, you'd have just done your show at the Leicester Square Theatre.
Would have done,
for your other podcast, which is the Business Broadcast with James Sinclair.
400 entrepreneurs.
I'm so excited to come and watch it.
Oh my God. How have we not talked about this?
What?
So the other day, right, I don't know if you can relate to this, listener at home. Maybe you're a part of a couple. Maybe you listen to this as a couple. I mean, if you do, it's a bit fucking weird, but we know that some couples listen to it.
Why is that weird?
Imagine if this was like your thing to do as a couple.
Watching like, I was going to say, no, I'm not going to go there. Carry on.
Anyway, so I don't know if you've got like something big that's coming up. It's nice when your partner gives you like a pep talk, you know, like G's you up, gives you a bit of like, come on, the old, you can do it.
I do that all the time.
Hayley came in the other day and I said,
nah.
I went as a like a joke, pretending I had a big ego. I went, I do. I said honestly, that show next week on Monday, you got no idea how good it's going to be. And she said, without skipping a beat, well, it better be, because I've got people coming in. It'll be really bad and embarrassing for me if it's shit. That was a genuine feedback.
Okay,
it'll be bad for me because I'm bringing people.
Hang on a minute.
It'll be embarrassing if it's shit.
There's a gang of us. Can I add some context to that?
Okay, please do.
I'm your biggest supporter, and since you've done this, I've been on at you going, oh my God, how amazing that you're doing a show in Leicester Square. You should be so proud of yourself. It's amazing. You've had all of that fucking pump, rah. You've also had, as someone who used to work in the theatre industry.
Oh, here she goes.
Telling you, have you got your shit together? Because you can't just rock up. It's not like this podcast where you can just like blag it. Like, people have bought a seat, they're sitting there like it needs to be interesting. Okay, it needs to be good. Finger gun.
Why finger?
And so I was like,
not to
on
paint
your
nails
case.
for this episode, did you?
I never paint my nails. So I was on your case, wasn't I? To the point, even when I saw James Sinclair at his event the other week, I was like, come on guys, you've got it sorted. So that's the only thing I was just thinking, you better have got it sorted, because if it's shit,
Monday's going to be so good, you got no idea.
If it's like tumbleweed and I'm sat there, I'm going to just get up and walk out.
It's going to be fucking brilliant.
I'm joking.
Trust me.
So good.
Well, it's already gone out, so I'm preemptively saying it to the universe.
It's going to be amazing. I can just hear everyone laughing and getting loads of advice and going, oh my God, that's so cool.
Why are they doing that when they're ahead, man?
So it's been a bit of a fun week, actually. Just feel like I'm just run out of time this week. I don't know if anyone else has that. Like, I have weeks where you feel like you've got just time to really get into projects, and then I've had a week where I've just had like calls every single day. It's been mental. And then I was saying to you the other day how George starts school in September, so now I'm into this whole like getting emails from the school, trying to sort that out. We got the email for his nursery graduation.
Oh,
I know, he'll be graduating soon, but I think he's ready. We've got Louis got another rock concert. I mean, they call it rock concert. I mean,
it's a rock concert. Don't you dare mug it off. What's he learning at the moment?
He told me, is it called Thunder? But I don't know it. I feel like I might know it, but I don't know it. On. So we went to the last concert, but the band leader had gone, and he'd only been there for like a week. So the renditions were a little bit. Let's just say, if you didn't know it, you'd be like, what the hell are they playing? But they did a good job.
Down.
Theirs was good, but some of the others. So I've got to take my teeth, haven't I? You feel it?
Can I feel it?
You see it?
No. That's not your camera angle anyway.
You see it?
No. You're making it a much bigger thing than you need to make.
Anyway, so he's got another rock concert, so I'm super excited for
Hayley's had a fringe cut, by the way. If you're watching on YouTube and you're like, will that girl stop touching her fucking head?
I'm not feeling it. I can't
She's
style it
not feeling the fringe, guys. She's just not yet feeling the fringe.
We've had seaside trips, haven't we? Went to Walton on the Naze.
Yeah, Walton.
That was great fun. We actually went in the sea, even though it's freezing. We still went in, went on the pier, went on the rides.
Cold as shit.
Loads of fun. And then we just had a random week. Like, George has just gone back to being whingy George, hasn't he? Like, to the point where it's just be like, Mummy. And I'm like, no, I'm not answering to that. And then he'd be like, Mummy. And I go, yeah, cool. I pick him up from nursery. I'm like, oh, he's just such a whinger at the minute. And they were like, really? He's just so fun and he's just so upbeat here. And I'm
saves all his
God, he
twatness
saves it to come home.
For in the middle of fucking night last night.
And then it's like...
I'm like a bear with a sore head today. He kept me up all night.
I know, you were well moody. But we've also hit like the bed wetting again. Like, George's never ever been one to wet the bed. And then last week he did it twice, didn't he?
No, one night, didn't he just like pee the bed when he just went to bed?
And then I was putting Louis to bed and then I just hear, Mummy, I've wet the bed. I'm like, you're awake. How have you wet the bed and you're awake? And I said, you know what? It was just a little dribble. Too much information. I was like, I've just cleaned that bed. You'll have to lay in it. That's bad, isn't it? It was only a little bit. I didn't have any other clean beds in it. It was
good for you. Tough parenting. Bring
Sit
back
in your own piss.
If you're not in a puddle of piss, you've got nothing to worry about. If there's not a risk of you drowning, shut the fuck up and go to sleep. Here's some armbands.
he'd changed position, so he was up the other end, so he just went back down the other end. So it really
That's what I do, to be fair. I just roll to your side, piss on your side of the bed, and roll back over.
Really?
Yeah. What are you looking at the cup for?
Because I give you clues. So that I give James so many clues so we can have like a seamless show that just goes into like the section.
That's a better clue. Right, sorry guys for context there. And again, if you're listening, this is a terrible listener. Hope British Podcast Awards. By the way, we've been submitted for a British Podcast
Yeah,
Award.
we ain't going to win.
Not with that negative attitude.
Hang on, we've been submitted as in,
Yeah.
but we submitted.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We've been submitted.
Hang on.
No.
We submitted.
Yeah.
Have we submitted or have they submitted?
No, we've submitted it.
Right.
You do the submitted to the people.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
so
just pointing at the mug.
we've submitted. I didn't realise.
What clue do you need?
Because I thought you was pointing, because we were talking about dribble, and I thought it was something dribbling down the side of your cup.
It clearly says here.
But it says on Hayley's
Talking
screen.
of toilet habits.
Who's a mug? Sorry, let's try
It's
again.
time for our Who's a Mug.
Don't worry about it. We'll cut that.
Right, hang on, let's try that again as if it's not pre-planned.
Oh, yeah,
I don't normally
yeah,
have a
yeah,
script.
yeah.
You ready? Hello. Talking of bad toilet habits, it's time for...
Who's a mug? Wow. Who's a mug? Who's a mug? You're a fucking mug. Have you been a mug? Is it Steve?
Who's mug?
Oh, no. Steve's been a mug. Got him.
Now, this one is close to home.
personal-
Well, it's not
it's a
close to home,
personal
so he
one.
lives in Australia, actually.
Literally the opposite of close to home.
The other side of the world.
He can be friends with John Buckley. He's in
Hey,
Australia.
John Buckley.
Hey, John.
Whereabouts in Oz?
I
It's
don't know.
John.
It's all
it's
quite
all-
small, isn't it?
Yeah, really
They could all
small.
just get together.
I
think he lives in Melbourne.
My brother's in Melbourne. Oh, my God.
Fucking hell, John, do you want another friend?
Do you like kebabs? Do you like watching football? Although he's on a health kick, isn't he now, my brother, to be fair?
Oh, God, yeah. It's not half the man he used to be, and I don't mean that in a negative way. He's just very skinny.
The reason it goes... There's actually two. So the first one I was going to tell you, which was what he gets Who's a Mug for, but then the second story he told me today was just... It's funny and disgusting at the same time. So
Before you say either of them,
Yeah.
are you committing to send Steve a mug? Because you are such a tight ass with...
No.
I need mugs on me, £8 a mug.
Cat's like, where's my mug? She's in Canada. I'm like, it's on, honestly, I've checked. It's on its way. So it is on its way.
You haven't sent it.
I have. I can show you the receipt.
Show me the receipt now.
All right, I'll get it. It's going to be like really boring for people, but I can show you. Anyway,
Oh, no,
so,
she actually is doing it. I was just
so
checking.
Stephen,
Go on, no, I believe you. No, you
okay.
don't have to. I believe you.
So Stephen, basically, so he's got three boys, and he's single parent. Is that right? No. How do you say that now? They're split up. He's split up. So when he's got the kids, he's on his own. And he'd taken the kids out. And you know those moments where, like, his youngest, Hartley. How was Hartley? God, I don't even know. Like, 2?
Yeah, he's littler
Should know
than
that.
George, isn't he?
And he was just having one of those, like, real moany, whingy days. And he'd taken them out to a cafe. And, of course, there's all, like, the other, like, mums there. So Stephen's just trying to be, like, you know, like, when you're trying not to get stressed, but your kid's, like, losing his shit.
Yeah.
And so the mums are like, are you all right? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm fine. And he had this milkshake. And he's kind of like pressed it and in front of all of them, head to toe, strawberry milkshake just all over Stephen.
Mug. Who's a mug? Who's a mug? Steve's been a mug. I bet there was like a lot of like hot, sexy, yummy
He just
Melbourne
said,
mummies
I
as
felt
well.
so stupid. And you know when you're like absolutely covered.
Oh.
But then he tells me this one.
How did he react though? Because you could either just go, oh, that will just like reset your mood, or get
I'm not
fucking
talking about
furious.
like a little bit spill. I'm talking like
Head
all over.
to toe.
So he was just absolutely mortified.
What did he do? I bet he just left.
Just went and cleared up and then left, yeah. But he was saying to me, oh my God, this might make you laugh or it might make you feel sick. So Hartley has also got a habit of wanting to handstand while he's on the toilet. So imagine he's having a sit down.
What?
Yeah, imagine he's having a sit down and then he'll almost like put his, do you know what I mean? He put his body forward and his hands. So he did that the other day. He'd got to Stephen's house. 20 minutes later, he needs the toilet. He goes, and all of a sudden, he's having a poo, and then tries to handstand, loses balance, falls head over heels while poo's coming out of his bum. And so there is Hartley who ends up on the floor. Stephen said there was poo everywhere. It's absolutely disgusting.
No.
That's
How do you
to clear it all
handstand
up.
on a toilet?
So imagine, I guess, if you're sat down, then he's leaning forward. Do you know what I mean?
So he's
And
still
then
on the so he's like just gone over?
yeah.
Oh no.
But whilst it was coming out of his bum, I think we need to Who's a Mug again before I'm sick.
You gagging?
It's pretty rank, isn't it?
Have you been a mug? Can we mug off a kid? Hartley,
Hartley,
you
come
been
on,
a little
mate.
mug.
Sort it out.
Be a little
Sort
mug
it
and your dad's been a big mug.
Right, we're going to get into our main segment now.
From the shits to the milkshakes. There you go. Go on and get into the main segment.
So,
Business life.
got anything for us?
What? Jingle was?
No, come on, James. You're better than this.
What?
You're better than this. We're moving into sales.
Right. I am not having this. You have written this shit down,
We're going
which
into
you've
the
never
main
done.
segment.
Which
like
is
we always
business
do.
life.
Yes.
So how's
So
that?
what are we talking about?
Sales.
And
Fuck's sake,
Honestly.
guys, there's a jingle coming.
that's what you bring to the table.
You have,
but you're
you
just
have not
letting the side
organised.
down,
You have
aren't
not
you?
organised very well again today. Guys, I'm really sorry if you feel like you haven't been
we've done
looked
it from
after
the main
properly.
bit, but
So,
sure, we'll
as
listen to the
an
whole-
apologies, please
We can't-
enjoy
we can't-
Hayley
We
singing
can't
out.
have all of it now. Oh, to pay, ain't it sad?
See how quick it was that she got involved.
I thought we were going to get straight into. Because we can use it because it's
That's too bad.
Hang on. In my dreams, I have a plan.
Was this your plan?
If I got me a wealthy man. Well, that fucked
No,
up,
it
didn't
did not work, did it? Cover them. Right, we're talking about money.
Anyway. We're talking about money.
Hayley
Well,
reckons
we're
that
not.
she's
We're talking
become a
about selling.
sales guru. She went to one event.
I'm going to be a
heard some.
fucking selling machine is what I'm going to be.
Do not get in touch with Hayley if you don't
No,
want to.
you are going to get
part of some
sold
cash, bruv.
to fuck. No, I'm joking. So I went to a business event run by a lady called Samantha Hearn, who is a business
Samantha Hearn. If you've got things to learn, you must go coaching with Samantha Hearn. She's
my
very
God.
good. She's very nice. She'll put some spice into your life.
I love it.
And some motherfucking sales too.
We lost it.
We did.
She's going to love that.
Yeah,
She's
there
gonna
you go. She gave
absolutely
that as
love
her
it.
official
So,
jingle.
Anyway, it was a really great day.
It was a great day.
We talked a lot about finances. We had some fun. We had sound bath. We had dance classes. But at the end part,
What was the sound bath? You love this?
yeah, it's like you kind of get into a meditative state, and then there's someone that's actually like making these kind of music and sounds around you.
How do they
It's
make the
amazing.
music?
Look at these like bowls. I'm assuming it's like got water in it. You know, like different levels. And they're sort of like they've got this like what?
Do you think that's how the bowls work?
Is there not liquid in them?
No, you fuck. It's not like someone's doing like a giant.
No, they've got special. If you let me finish.
Yeah, it's the size of the bowl that changes the tone,
No,
isn't
because
it?
if you think about when people.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think you're wrong.
No.
Have a look.
In a sound
Oh, do you know
bath.
what I'm thinking of? You know, in The Proposal, when not The Proposal, Miss Congeniality, and she plays the glasses.
The glasses.
And they've all got different.
Yeah, that works
water
in
it.
glass. But
Yeah,
also,
these were glass.
if the glasses were different sizes, they would
No.
make different noises.
Nah.
They're not. They have like a stick.
Yeah.
They have like a
Yeah.
stick.
Yeah, because of the water.
What do you mean because of the water?
There's water in the bowl.
But why does a stick? Why do you need a stick for the water?
you
what-
don't, instead of because you do around the top, like in Miss Congeniality. I'm going to look into it.
Carry on.
Anyway,
Carry on.
this is like photosynthesis all over again.
Oh, God.
Anyway, in the afternoon,
It's a fucking sound bath. So we need to know.
she was talking about like selling. Like, I don't have an issue with selling because to me, it's just about telling people what you do, and if they need you, great. If they don't, then that's fine. But it's more about being strategic about selling. So you're
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
similar to me
Yeah.
in that. Which sounds really good. Like 90% of my business comes through recommendation, word of mouth. I've never ever had a proper sales process where I know that I'm selling certain things certain times. So basically,
Never needed it, guys. Never needed it.
she spoke a lot about the selling cycle. So you're either in like a selling and launching phase, or you're in a service delivery phase, or you're in a kind of back end setting up systems and organising phase, right? And I was like, that is so genius. It was so there's obviously a lot more to it. But just taking that simple like 3 steps, I was like, I'm never proactively selling or thinking. So when I'm saying selling, obviously I'm not just saying like ramming it down people's throat, but like being clever. So I worked out off the back of this, I sat there and I thought, if I think about my year, I know there's 2 times of year where I get bombarded with everyone wanting like the full on big brand projects, yeah? So then I get so busy and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I've got so many clients. But then what happens? I then go into the service delivery segment, okay? And then there's obviously off the back of that, there's lots of like systems and back end stuff that I'm also doing, like trying to get organised. But then there's no selling. So then it
while you're in delivery mode.
Yeah, so then it kind of like it runs out again. Does that make sense?
It's like most small businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, so number one, if I just thought more strategically about thinking about that, like when people come in and then knowing that 2 months later, I need to start thinking about getting sales in for the quiet times. Does that make sense? That's number one. Then number two, I thought, well, if I know that people come to me for the big packages at those times, maybe it's because it's always leading up to the end of the year. So everyone's starting to think, well, January, I want this like new
refresh
brand or refresh.
Yeah.
And also after Christmas, when we get into sort of like, I find like January, February, everyone's finding their feet. Get into March, April, again, everyone's like back on it. So then I started thinking, well, what out of my service would actually be really beneficial to people at certain times of the year? So this isn't true for everyone, but some people think like the summer is harder to sell in the summer. Everyone's winding down, which people are now saying actually you can really take advantage of that because people are still around.
Yeah, people take the foot off the gas, yeah.
So part of my packages is that I can help people create like a sales page if they've got a new service.
And here she goes,
I
guys.
can create, I don't need a jingle, thank you. I can create I've lost my flow now. Just said I didn't need a jingle.
You could create...
Don't overproduce, James.
Do you like that sound?
No, hate it.
Don't tell me how to produce.
Hate it.
Do I tell you how to design
You've ruined
shit?
it, haven't you now? Because I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying about you make some packages, some brand packages. You're about to flog someone some shit.
No, I was saying, one of the things I do is creating sales pages. One of the things I can do, he's looking at me now like I'm in trouble, is I can create like lead magnets, landing pages. Now I was thinking...
What can't... It'd be easy to work out what you can't
I can
create.
do it all, guys. I can do it all. But my point being...
Get to the fucking
before
point.
you fucking interrupt me, is that people could be working on that during the summer so that come September, they're like, bang, it's all ready to go. Do you see what I mean? That would be a really good part of my services to think about selling and promoting in those months where people aren't thinking about a massive brand package. So it was just really amazing because it's...
But you don't do any like salesy, you don't post
I've
to
never
sell
really
anything,
sell.
do you? You just make content.
I'm laughing because the last 2 or 3 weeks I've had this post of like doing a carousel of all my services and I just yet to do it, so it just keeps getting moved. No, I don't, but that's not saying you shouldn't. Like when I work with clients, I'm very conscious that, you know, we always like promote what they're doing as well. But for me,
So why don't you?
Because I just get stuck in service and delivery mode. So now my challenge...
The sales come to you when they're
100%.
ready. So they just naturally turn up.
It's just there. So what I now need to do
nice problem to
is
have.
be more strategic of how I can sell and when, and also then get my team on board to go, right, this is what I'm selling and I need you guys to help me do it. Does that make sense? So if we're going to get loads of these sales pages in, for example, it might mean that I need my marketing guy to help more with some of the copy, or I might need my other designer to help with some of the design. Does that make sense? So I had a call with Sam and she said that's what you got on that. That's like, almost like the next level. It's like layering on top of that, another big part of the business of selling is being out there selling or being visible and offering content and that kind of stuff. So she was like, my big stretch zone is to sort of bring those people in to help me facilitate the workload whilst I go out and do that. And I was like, but it sounds so basic, but I just never thought of it like that. So I looked at my year, and you could obviously, if you track your sales, if you use accounting or whatever, you could see, couldn't you, I guess, where you've sold things. So if you don't know, you could go to that and have a little look. But I just sat there and I just thought really logically about when people come to me and what they need, and then looked at my services and gone and just said, when would actually those services be good for people to have? If they wanted something to launch in September, then I'd need to start selling it in July. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I just thought it was fascinating. I just never done it. So it's not about being like sleazy salesing, which we're going to come on to. But I just thought for any business, you know, like we both have quite successful businesses, don't we? But I wouldn't say we have a sales strategy, do we?
No.
Like even for you, yours is probably highly... recommendations as well.
Yeah, 100% is recommendations, or people that have. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but imagine knowing like like say your
Which
content,
is great.
Yeah.
But word of mouth is not scalable.
No.
And you can't control it.
Yeah,
Like if you get
100%.
paid ads dialed in for a client, you can turn them up.
Yeah.
Drive loads of leads and then turn it off. I had this, actually talking to sales, I completely forgot about this. I actually had an amazing sales call the other day. So I got cold emailed. And it normally ends up in your junk folder, but this had ended up in my inbox anyway.
Spooky.
And it was, the way it was worded was very like conversational. But it was like, I know you're probably going to think I'm just yet another person who's selling you some stuff, but I'm actually not. I really genuinely want to help because we've landed this podcast production agency 17 leads. They're based in America. We're looking for a partner to do this for in the UK, something along those lines. Yeah. But I appreciate, you're probably hit delete and the opportunity is never going to come again. Fair enough, whatever it is, what it is. Something like that. And I was like, I messaged the guy back. I emailed him back and said, thanks for the spam message. Fucking brilliant. Really impressed with this.
Yeah.
And then he responded very quickly. I said, do you know what? I said, actually, sell me this because I think this is really good. Sell me the concept of it. And he jumped on a sales call and he's a fucking master salesman.
Really?
An absolute master of selling. But what was really interesting is that he was saying that a lot of the clients, the issue that they have, it sounds daft, right? Is even like booking the client in the calendar. And then there's some really simple stuff you can do, like book the client in the calendar from the email. Then you do the call. And then when you're on the sales call, book in the time for the follow-up call.
Yeah.
So you get a call from a call, you get a lead from a lead.
Yeah.
You get an appointment from an appointment.
I love that. And I think as I'm sat here, because, as I say, because I get recommendations, if I'm honest, by the time they've got to me, they're pretty much
sold
that they're going to work with me. Not always.
It's just about whether they can afford the budget or not, isn't it?
So normally there and then they're saying, yeah. So
you don't need a follow-up sequence.
Need a follow-up. However, that is really good because as I'm moving now more into this approach where I'm going to just be like telling people this is what I do, and it will be much more like, I wouldn't necessarily say cold, but warm. No, not even warm, colder.
Yeah. I think the colder the lead, the harder really, you have to work.
Thing is as well, like we're going to go into have a bit of fun about like the sleazy sales, is that having a sales process is not sleazy. Like it's not. Selling is not sleazy. And it's not, like that whole like, oh, does selling give you the ick? Like it shouldn't. It might if you're sold on the thing or maybe you're just not a confident person. So actually like having a conversation with someone feels a bit scary. Like I get that side of it. But how I tell people, you've got to look at what your service is and you've got to believe in it so much that really it's just an opportunity to help someone. It's as simple as that. Like if someone needs branding and I know that I can do a good job and help them, why would I not want to? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think if you don't like selling, there's a problem with your belief in the thing that you are selling. It's not your ability to sell necessarily.
Yeah. And I think it can feel overwhelming. Like I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn and I'm at the point now where I get so many requests and it's almost like, are they trying to sell me? Am I selling them? And then I met a lady.
I love a reverse sell.
Yeah.
I love a reverse sell.
I met a lady the other day and she said, here's a good tactic that she started doing, which is just simply saying to someone, out of interest, what made you connect with me? And I was like, do you know what, I'm going to try it. And I did. And then the guy was like, oh, I've set up a business. And I started following people in my industry. And then I thought, I'm going to need to know more about branding and marketing. And I saw your page. And I was like, okay, brilliant. So now I know that he's like interested in what I do. It was just nice to know. So I think that's the other thing with selling is that people just get scared because there's so many tactics out there. But I think
it's one of those things though, isn't it? That it's people fear it, but there's not really a good need to fear it. But then they get excited about other stuff like, oh, I love doing marketing. There's so many people who do marketing who are shit at marketing, with respect, that are absolutely shit at marketing.
I think it kind of goes like a bit hand in hand,
sales and marketing are two very, very different things.
The biggest thing, we're not going to go into too much more detail because I'm aware that we're already going to run out of time, but it's the money. That's what people have an issue with. And I remember when I started my business and I sort of grew it to like more going down the route of selling like a bigger package. And I remember the first time I had to say that number and it's like you're actually shitting yourself. And on that call, you're doing everything you can to almost like skirt around it.
But you've got to just... Yeah. I watched the sales call the other day, right? And this is one of the tactics. And I love... some like sales tactics, I don't think they work
I think I know
anymore,
what this song's
but
gonna
some
be.
work really,
Yeah.
really, really well. So there's this whole old school belief or methodology that when you do sales, you say the price and you stay silent.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought you were
You
going to
say the price, you stay silent, and it can be so uncomfortable. And I watched a sales video, and the woman was pitching this guy, and she's like, blah 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 blah. She'd been through the process, and the person who's being sold to had to bring it up. They said, "So I guess the only thing we do need to talk about, you can see straight away body language change, shoulders start to slump." Looking down rather than looking at the camera. So I guess the only thing that we do need to do realistically is look at what the budget's going to be. And I can't remember what the number was. Let's say it was 10 grand, round it up. Okay, well, for everything we've already discussed before with blah, 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 goes back over features and benefits. So you're reaffirming the value stack in the proposition. It's going to be £10,000. And then she just stopped. And I knew what she was doing. And the fucking person that was being sold to knew what she was doing. But she just stayed silent. It probably was only like 5 seconds. Say, then? Oh, she just stayed silent.
No, the one who's listening, the potential client.
Oh, it's a guy.
Told 10,000.
Oh, eventually had to break the silence, but tried so hard not to because he knew what she was doing.
That's brilliant.
Because apparently the person who speaks first loses the power. That's the methodology.
I would lose every time. But it's true. But
that's actually a good point. And again, this is one of the things I would say with this lazy sales tactic stuff, because it has got a bad connotation to it. But there are some parts of it that work really well. There's a reason why it's always talked about. So like, be confident and upfront with the price.
Yeah.
Reaffirm the value of it. It's going to be X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And stay silent.
Yeah. The other thing as well that I have done through like the journey I've been on through setting up my business was I have like my prices on my website. And I know some people are like, should you, shouldn't you? But I actually quite like the fact that I know that they'd have seen it because then it's like, you're just not going to waste each other's time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true.
So I do say that to people sometimes. If they don't want it on their website or if someone inquires, you could at least send them a link to something that says, oh, great, can't wait, we're booking a call. Before we do, like, here's a look at my services. Do you know what I mean? Just to sort of break that ice a little bit.
You do have to be a bit careful, though, because if you do something bespoke, let's say, for example, they're saying this off the shelf and it's like $2,500, but if they wanted, like our podcast launch service, which you guys is very, very good. Check it out, phonic.media. But if you want the basic podcast launch package, it's $5,000 now, plus VAT.
Yeah.
But then we've had people recently and they thought that they came to us for a podcast, but actually they needed a website.
Oh, right.
And they needed a back-end CRM system and they needed
but you can say
automations.
From 5,000.
Yeah, but the risk I'm saying with the price on the website is they've now got that price in their mind.
Right, I see what you mean.
So then you're having to upsell them to other stuff, which sometimes can work if you can stack the value and show them the value of it.
I've had like a package price, and like as I'm getting more, I don't know, I guess it evolves. Like I'm just seeing what people need more, and then I just keep adding it in, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to have like more of a from price. And then if we get there and you need this, it's extra money, which again, that does.
See, look at your body language, like
my selling. And I was saying, like, every time I get to the next point where I'm like, I know I need to increase prices, not because I'm getting greedy, but just because I'm offering so much more value. I always go for a little bit of a little phase. A
wobble, and then you sell 3 or 4 of them, and then you're like,
oh,
I need to be charging more.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to go into our small business shout out, because this is a perfect example of selling.
Yes. So you're going to have to do this because I've got no experience, apart from the branding, which I love.
Business. Small business. Oh, I should have got one of my, could you run and get one?
Where is it?
In the kitchen.
I'll get it.
The kettle. So I went to an event a couple of months ago, and I was lucky enough to meet a lady who was truly inspiring. Her name is Maxine Laceby, and she runs a company called Absolute Collagen. And they're next to the kettle. No, they're not. They're next to the kettle. She runs a company called Absolute Collagen with her daughter. Maxine was the founder and now the CEO. And I met her at this event. She was just like a really
Seamless.
amazing person. So here we go. Absolute Collagen is our small business shout out.
Oh, it looks
and
nice.
I was lucky enough to meet the founder, Maxine Laceby, at an event. She runs it now with her daughter. Has a turnover of something like £30 million.
No one can see that behind your computer screen. I'll hold it here for you.
She was just such a lovely lady. She was in this, like, she was just there as a guest on the day. I spoke to her. You know, you just meet someone, you're just like, you are just a great person.
The branding is just so
branding's
nice.
amazing. She was saying how when she set it up and they were going to go with this yellow, they were told don't do it, it's the wrong colour, and now look at it, it's like pretty iconic. I think they have quite a few like celebrity endorsements as well.
Oh, a little
I
bit
think
of
Emma Willis is one.
Burnt gold, what did you call it? Rose gold. There you
So
go.
she
Burnt
gave
gold.
us some samples at this event. They gave us a goodie bag and she'd put some samples
Great
in there.
way to sell.
A great
Sampling.
way. Now, she was stunning and beautiful as well. But I get neck wrinkles, right? And I remember
I'll have a look.
saying,
I'll look for you,
you know,
here, guys.
like if you've got boobs or whatever, and you get this, like you wake up in the morning, you get all these neck wrinkles here on your decollage, is that what they call it? Anyway, I am that person, talking about selling, that buys any, you know, like when you just get like an advert, like, oh, buy this thing that you stick on your neck that helps wrinkles, yep, buy it. Here's an oil that you put on, yep, buy it. And then I never use it.
You had like a
right?
like a boob, a nighttime
honestly,
boob
I've got
pillow.
it up there, it's still in the pack, never used it.
What a waste of money.
So I do that. But anyway, there was this little pot of cream and it was the Deca neck cream and I put it on.
Deca neck.
You do it twice a day and I was like, oh my God. Like the next day, do you remember I'm saying to you, can you see the difference?
And Hayley bangs on about this sort of shit all the
and
time.
then I
I'm
saw
like,
my
yeah,
mate Kelly and I'm going,
I was like,
Kelly, look. And she was like, do you know what? I can actually notice. That's
I
amazing.
could. And I
I'm
spent a
like,
lot of time looking at her
oh
decollage.
my God. So anyway, that sent me on a rabbit hole going onto the website. And what I was just amazed by, and this is why they are so good, because their product is, like I say, the branding is amazing. The product itself is amazing. But what they were so good at is social proofing. There are so many testimonials on that website, not just written. I'm talking about videos, pictures of people before and afters.
Oh, I saw some of
That
them.
I was
Yeah, they're
just
really
like,
impressive.
how
You'll probably
would I
be one, wouldn't they?
not-
Be like,
how
look
would
how
I not-
haggard
well,
Hayley
yeah, But
was.
this is what I'm saying. When you get the pack in, it's like they give you instructions. Take a photo of yourself for when you start.
Oh,
Does
do
that
they?
Yeah. I've got.
Is it in
sorry,
here?
I got like a free pack because I subscribed, so it might be in there,
Oh,
or it might be
there's
there's
more
like a
bits here.
little.
So I'm ruining the box.
There was like a little. What do you call it? Little guide that comes with it.
Okay.
It's probably upstairs. And I was like, that is genius. So they're getting everyone
look.
to already think about sharing this journey. Oh, look, you
Even
can put
that.
all of your little bits in. I got like this free
Little daily
gift
dose,
with like
made
this
easy.
beautiful bag. But anyway, so someone who's going through
impressed.
perimenopause, my body's changing, my skin's changing.
My body!
But I don't want to go and have Botox. It doesn't. It's just not something I
I've
want to do.
banned it. I've banned it
I
as well.
go on there
It's poison.
and I'm seeing all these like beautiful women of all different ages that are just using this collagen sachets, and within 3 months, honestly, the results is incredible. Radiant skin, nails growing nicer, hair getting better. People that were like losing.
Love yourself much.
No, but people that were losing. I'm talking like going bald. Like it's growing back because
Really?
apparently from when we're 25 we
start
start
sticking that
losing
back of my head.
collagen. Well, they do a men's one. I did say that to you. I hinted enough times. Like, come on, James, get on board with this.
I looked at myself in the hairdresser's window today. I was like, oh, this
look
fucking
ill.
Gollum.
Gollum. I said you look like that hologram out of Red Wolf earlier. Anyway, so I just wanted to do a shout out. Not that they need it. They're not a small business by any means, but I love great business, and it's a perfect example of social proofing in the best way. So our small business shout out.
Here you go. You can do the jingle again. Quick. Say it
small
succinctly.
business shout
You've talked about
out.
it for about 15 minutes now. Go.
Our small business shout out goes to Absolute Collagen,
Catch
who
it.
I absolutely
Catch it. Catch it.
Absolute Collagen.
Catch the collagen.
Founded by Maxine Laceby, who I met at an event. It is honestly the best website. Their products that I've already used have made such a massive difference to my skin. So go check them out. Absolute Collagen. You can't really miss it. This beautiful yellow branding.
There you go. What a lovely shout out. Right, to wrap up today's podcast, it's time
Oh,
for
I
a
looked at the
special segment.
So before we move into our final role play, we are going to do a
We're
quick...
doing role play today.
We know.
Wicked. I'll be a waiter, and you can be a slutty customer.
Of course, that's where you go, James, because you're not obvious at all. Pathetic. So these are 10 sleazy.
Hang on a second, I just want to rub some collagen on my face.
They're really weird texture, but I kind of love it. Special segment. So 10 easy. Before we do the special segment, 10 sleazy sales techniques to avoid. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, you say sleazy, but I mean, you can imagine people being sleazy. So here we go. Number 1, over-promising.
Oh.
Okay, making unrealistic promises to secure a sale.
Don't do
that. Don't do it. Are we going to go quick? Yeah.
Don't do it.
Aggressive follow-up. Persistently contacting a prospect despite disinterest.
Where is our contract being signed?
Seriously, someone I know the other day, I'm not going to say who, but they had signed up for something, as you do, you know, when you just see something and you think, oh, that sounds interesting, and then they got actually like harassed to the point where they were like, well, why did you bother signing up if you're not interested? Don't do that.
Wow, don't do that.
Generic scripts using unpersonalised sales scripts. Yeah, no one. You don't
Oh, hi there, Hayley. How are you having it? Happy Friday. Yeah, great.
Yeah, love
good
it.
weather outside, isn't it? So
ignoring your buyer's timeline and pressuring them for a quick decision. Like this. So we need to close this deal by the end of the week. Customer, I can't make a decision that quickly. Salesperson, you have to. The offer expires soon.
You idiot.
The world is gonna end. Dishonesty, misleading about the product features or benefits. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Like, our device has a battery life for 48 hours. Customer, you sure? The reviews I saw says it lasts like 24 hours. Those reviews must be outdated. Trust me, it's 48 hours. You're lying.
Wow, this is pretty serious.
Don't lie. Pushiness. Okay, being overly aggressive in sales interactions. It's not nice.
Nah.
People aren't going to want to work with you. You're
Don't work anymore, I don't reckon.
Lack of research, not understanding the prospect's needs.
Yes,
that's true. You should really and something I hold my hands up and I say to people, like, I'm not going to get on a call just to sell you something. If I don't think it's right for you,
you ain't having it.
Then no, I won't want you to buy it.
That's actually a sales tactic as well, by the way. It's called a takeaway.
No, you don't. Yeah, but I'm not doing that. I'm not going. You can have it.
Are you not?
Have it.
Are you not?
You can have it, but you can't have it. I'm not doing that.
You do that to me.
Feigning interest, so pretending to care about prospects' issues. Just ignored that. I love that about. You know, like in the street when you see people collecting for charity, they want you to sign up. Like, we all know what you're doing. Don't try and ask me about my day like you give a shit. You don't.
Oh, I had it about 4 times. I come out of Farringdon Station, they're like, bro, really nice shirt, bro. And I was like, well, we all know that's a fucking lie.
It's like
Crack
this.
on,
I
mate.
really care about your business. Tell me more about it. The customer, we're struggling with lead generation. The salesperson, that's interesting. Now let's talk about the product.
That's my sales technique.
My mum does that to me on a daily basis. Overselling, continuing to pitch after convincing the prospect. Ooh.
Is that what you do when you're talking about Orange Lamb on this podcast?
What?
Hey.
Oversell.
Hey.
The last one here.
Hey.
We've got fake promotions using deceptive promotional tactics.
They've brought in rules around that, though, haven't
Like
they? You're
this.
actually.
If you buy now, you'll get a 50% discount. The customer says, what's the regular price? Well, it's actually the same price as always, but we call it a discount. No.
You are not allowed to.
No. It's not a discount. Anyway, that's 10 sleazy tactics to avoid when selling.
Don't do them. Don't do any of them.
Okay.
Do you know there's like stage selling in this country? That's quite sleazy. I don't know if it is in other countries around the world.
We've got to move on. We've got to wrap this podcast up.
But there's now a rule because there's so much like negativity around sleazy sales. That now you have to prove that you sold the product for the price that you're selling it on stage for.
Oh, do you know
you've ever been to property rooms and it's like the value stack is £27,000, but today you can get it for £997. You have to prove you've made at least one sale at the full
that
whack.
value stack.
Yeah,
that
at the
is
full
so
price.
Interesting.
Oh, it's just bullshit.
I've been there in one of them rooms, and like,
I've been there and bought it. Fucking love it.
I mean, you come out, I've just spent 10 grand. Brilliant. Anyway,
I'm a salesman's dream.
Come on.
All salesmen are easy to sell to.
Okay, so that's selling. So now we thought, just for a bit of fun to end this podcast, I thought about the dating world. You know, like you're selling yourself, aren't you? Not in a weird way, not in a paying for it way. But I thought let's go back and like me and James can
sell ourselves.
Cilla Black is still around.
Oh, God, Laura Lockchuck. You're gonna have a Laura.
We're both going to answer these 3 questions then, and then we decide.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what we're deciding. I used to love that show. Okay.
You just have to watch it every Saturday at
have
my
not
house. It's the
had
only thing that made my
any-
miserable mother happy for half
dear.
an hour a week.
Oh, wow.
Fucking blind date.
We've not had any preparation,
No.
so we didn't.
I
want
don't
to.
even know what's
Okay, so
on the screen.
do you remember
So
a
you could-
blind date? They used to just ask like really stupid questions.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
they've already been pre-planned.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you these questions.
Okay.
I'm going to decide if I would date you or not.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we know the answer.
Okay. Number 1. If you were a kitchen appliance, what would you be and why?
Oh, great question. And that goes to number 2.
I'm going to think as well. So I'm going to do it as well.
I would be one of those ninja blenders because I smash everything. And if you go on a date with me, you find out what I could smash on the night.
Oh, God, you're so sleazy. Oh, my God, that's actually a really good answer.
You loved it, didn't you?
Oh, do you know what?
You find that attractive,
I'm
didn't
actually
you? What is wrong
annoyed
with you?
because I was going to say
Oh,
NutriBullet.
that's what I meant, a NutriBullet, whatever.
So you can smash me up, honestly, smash my back doors. Did you say that? Have
No, I
said
didn't.
that?
You just said that.
Awful. Okay, I'm going to say
If you're a kitchen appliance, what appliance would you be and why?
I would be a spatula. So I could give you a little tap now and then to keep you in line. And when you're really naughty, give you a big whack on the bum.
That's not what
much?
spatula's for.
Yeah, spatula. You know, like you cook with.
Yeah, no, you cook with it. You don't
I'm going
go around.
to whack you with it.
Why are you going to whack me with a
Dunno.
spatula?
I'm going to whack you with it.
Well, you said that I came across sleazy. Jesus. Right, come on then.
Would you date me on that one yet?
I would, yeah, of course.
Too easy.
It doesn't matter to me.
I'd be like, this guy is just after one thing.
Go on then.
That's my fault.
And
now.
you'd be
Okay,
right.
Number 2. Describe your ideal date using only movie titles. So you can use more than one movie title in a row, but you can only use movie titles.
Describe your ideal date based
Yeah.
on movie titles.
Yeah, apparently.
Black Hawk Down.
What is Black Hawk Down?
And you're the hawk.
What even is Black Hawk Down?
It's a film about a horrific plane crash.
Do you know what comes to my head?
It's a war film. It's a war film. It's a helicopter. Black Hawk is a helicopter.
Describe your ideal date. I just had Brokeback Mountain. Brokeback Mountain.
That's gay cowboys.
I know, but I won't think I just want Brokeback Mountain. I don't know, like take me up a mountain and
Break your back.
I think I'm realising that blind date they definitely would have
If the guys
pre-done
from
the questions.
Absolute Collagen have listened to this, they might have gone, "Oh my god, that Shoutout is so good. We should sponsor this podcast."
They're never
If they were
gonna.
thinking that before,
They're
they're
never,
not thinking
ever
it now.
gonna sponsor this. Okay, number 3.
Follow on, come on.
If you were a superhero, what would be your dating superpower?
If you're a superhero. Oh, if I was a superhero, that goes to our James. Who's number 2?
Why do you sound like Kermit?
Hi there. My name's Kermit the Frog. I would be the Hulk. But trust me, you're going to like what happens when you make me angry.
Oh, we had the wink.
The week. God, what would you be? What would
You're
yours
a
be?
superhero. It said, what would your dating superpower be?
Oh.
Mine would be,
got
my
it wrong.
superpower would be to listen and smile when you're just talking utter bullshit.
Fine. Well,
I think I'd just come across like an angry sex pest. So do you.
and so do I. But that is accurate for me, so that
out
is
of that,
absolutely fine.
Would you be choosing me?
Oh, probably. Until that screen went back, I'll be like, "Oh, can I choose the other one,
fuck.
please?"
Imagine.
Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, which was supposed to be about selling, but ended up being about
Selling
pretty much
yourself.
everything other than selling, really. But if you have enjoyed this episode, if you're watching on the old YouTubes, if you're listening on the old Apples, the old Spotifys, the old Amazon Music,
The old
and all
apples
that,
and
the old
pears.
apples and
The
pears,
stairs.
then go leave us a rating and a review. Leave us a comment if you like it, and if you'd like to get involved, if you're a company and you'd like a small shout out,
why
you can have a
not?
small shout out. If you've done something muggy, you better own up and admit to it, and you can win yourself one of these classy mugs. That's right. One of these can be winging its way to your door. Or if you
It might take a while, but it will get there.
Yeah, eventually. She's such a tight ass. She don't want to spend the money on the postage and
why.
packaging. It is why. Or if you just want to leave us a review, that'd be very much appreciated
mum's
as well.
calling,
Uh-oh, mum's calling.
Uh-oh.
Luckiest end of the podcast. Anyway, I hope your mum doesn't listen to this one. This would be so embarrassing.
Can I answer it?
Go up a mountain, break my back. Oh my God. Horrible.
Bye.
Bye.
This show is a Phonic Media production.